Hey guys, Carl from Purple Moose Plays. Today I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit unusual on my channel in that I don't normally cover games on TTS just because I've never really been comfortable with being able to present the game as well as I can with a physical copy. However, when I heard this game Agueda was about to be coming to Kickstarter, I noticed that the designers for this game is a design team that I've been following quite a bit recently. And that's Dustin, Dobson, and Milan Zivkovic, who you might recognize for their efforts both individually and together as a team on games like Skulls of Sedlec, Rove, Battlecrest, Wild Tales, and most recently Numpsters from Milan individually. These are all games that I've really enjoyed, and therefore this is a design team that I've had my eye on, and I am always curious to see what they're doing next. And this time I saw it was a bigger game from them, which is something I hadn't had a chance to try out yet. And also it's coming from publisher 25th Century Games, who just happens to have recently published a game from a good friend of mine. So the publisher's name was also on my mind. So I thought that I would really love to cover this, but unfortunately I was not able to get a prototype of this game for the Kickstarter campaign. And the footprint of the game is fairly small, and it has a really nice mod here on Tabletop Simulator, so I decided I would go ahead and film a video using this mod instead. Now, before I get into anything, if you load up this mod on your own, there will be a lot more player board stuff on here that I've cleaned up and gotten rid of so I can fit everything as big on the screen as possible. I've also slid these solo mode cards down a little bit just to fit them better on the screen, but otherwise everything is the way that it was. Actually, let me go ahead and get rid of this blue and green score marker as well. Then we're going to go ahead and click Setup. And just like that, we are all set up to play. Just showing here, I've got a player board down here that consists of two pieces, this sort of mosaic board over here and our sort of street board over here. The umbrellas have been put randomly into this area over here. We're starting with 2 coins. We're going to be starting obviously at 0 points, and then you'll see that these 2 gold cards were chosen and a random umbrella was placed on each of them because they only had 1 marker on each card. And then the rest of the umbrella colors were placed onto this one. This one will always be here, and I'll explain what these cards do in just a minute, but these are going to be the end game sort of scoring goals. In addition, over here we've got our solo deck that I'm going to shuffle up, and here's our solo mode card, which says we're going to choose beginner, standard, or expert. So for this game we will be playing the standard level. So I'm going to take one of these cubes and just mark off standard so we remember that that's what we're working at. And then otherwise this yellow cube will be the scoring marker for the AI. So now the game's all set up, let's go ahead and get into an explanation of how the game plays. So Agueda is going to play out over a series of 10 rounds, and in each round I will take a turn followed by the AI. And on my turn, you can see here on our player board down in the bottom left corner, it's going to walk us through the turn. So it says pick umbrellas, place umbrellas, update murals, and then attract 1 or 2 tourists and score, or take a break. So let's start with the first step, pick umbrellas. So on our turn, we're going to be drafting umbrellas from the available display up here. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to choose any row of umbrellas, and we're going to take all of them. So for example, this row here, this row here, this row here, this row here, or then vice versa. Those 3, those 3, those 2, or that 1. And once we've drafted those umbrellas, we're going to be placing them in our street. But we have to place all of the umbrellas that we drafted in a single street. We can place them in any order that we'd like to, but they have to all be placed in the same row, one after the other, sort of consecutively across the street. And when we're drafting, you'll see here and here that if we draft a row that has 2 umbrellas, we can draft those for free. If we draft a row that has 1 umbrella, we're going to actually receive 1 coin. And then if we want to draft any of these rows that has 3 umbrellas, we're going to need to pay 1 coin. So the only way we can do that is we pay one of the 2 coins we start with, or if later we draft a single umbrella, it will give us a coin that we can then later spend on 3 umbrellas. Now, why are we drafting these umbrellas? Well, we're going to be scoring the umbrellas potentially every turn when we place them in locations, but also the main reason is we're trying to score these 3 sort of end game goal cards. So let's take a look at those and see what they say and how we're going to be scoring this game. Again, this will change every time you play the game. Our first goal card is this one, Balbino's Bookstore. It says we're going to score 1 point for each column that has 3 different colored umbrellas, with one of those umbrellas matching this color. So for every column that I have 3 unique colors of umbrella and one of them is purple, we'll score 1 point. Next, we've got Fabio's Functional Footwear. It says if you have an even number of umbrellas in this color on your board, score 1 point for each. So we want to have a lot of green, but we want to make sure that we have an even number of green at the end of the game. And then finally, this last one is going to be permanent. It's going to be there in every game. So you'll see when I click on it, it's actually popped up the entire board. But over here on the right side, Agueda Souvenirs, it says count all the umbrellas on your board that match any of these colors. Score points to half of that amount rounded down. So you'll see we've got red, yellow, blue, and orange. So effectively, they're going to be worth half a point each at the end of the game. But we won't score half points. So you need to have 2 of them for them to score anything at all. So again, the first step of every turn is we're going to pick a row of umbrellas to draft and place into our street. Now, a couple of things when we're placing into the streets. You can see that some of the spaces on the street have paintbrushes on them. Anytime I place an umbrella on that paintbrush, whatever color umbrella I've placed on that paintbrush will flip over the associated color tile over here on my mural board. So if I place a green umbrella on a paintbrush, then I can flip over the green umbrella piece on my mural board. And there's a couple of reasons why we're going to be doing that. First off, every time we flip off 2 of these pieces in the same row, we're going to take this tourist meeple and place it into our available tourists up here at the top of our board. But also, at the end of the game, as you can see here down at the bottom, it says if I flip 4 of them, I'll score 2 points at the end of the game. If I flip 5 of them, I'll score 4 points at the end of the game. And if I flip all 6 of them, I will score 6 points at the end of the game. So again, we're going to pick umbrellas from the available offer, place them in our streets, update murals for any paintbrushes that we cover, and then finally it says attract 1 to 2 tourists and score or take a break. So you'll see that there are these tiles like this next to every street that we've got. And what this means is if I place 1 tourist on this tile, I will be able to choose one of those 2 colors and score 1 point for every umbrella in that row matching the color I chose. Or I can place 2 tourists and score 1 point for each umbrella matching both of those 2 colors. But again, we start with only 3 tourists. We can unlock another 3 tourists from getting these murals flipped over. But you'll see the other option is take a break. If I have all of my workers out there, or my tourists out there on the board, and or I just decide that it's not worth placing a tourist because it's not going to score me many points at all, I can instead take a break. When I take a break, all of the tourists that I've placed come back to my available tourists area, and then we're going to rotate these tiles. And what that means is this bottom tile here will go up to the top, and then these 2 tiles will simply slide down to the next spot. So we do have to pay attention to, we can't just fill 1 row with all of the colors that match that, because those will rotate and then the other 2 tiles will never ever score on that row. So we have to be a little bit careful about how we're placing things out. And then after my turn, the AI is simply going to flip over the top card of their deck and do whatever it says, which means they're going to be discarding specific umbrellas from the offer, and then they'll be scoring 1 point for every one that they discard. We also have to pay attention to, at the end of the game, because we're playing on standard mode, the AI will be given a free 10 points, and then they're going to score 1 point for every color umbrella that they have that is the color, so the most common color in their discard pile. So whatever they have the most of, they will score 1 point for each umbrella of that color at the end. So that's basically it for how the game plays. Now let's go ahead and get into our playthrough. All right, then, my turn. We need to draft some umbrellas, remembering that we're looking for columns with 3 different colors, at least one of which is purple. We're looking for an even number of green umbrellas, as many as possible, and then otherwise we're looking for all of the other stuff. So I don't really need more than 1 purple in any column. And I want to make sure my green stays even, but for right now, either way, that's okay. Then I think I'm going to draft this purple green. So I can start off getting green. Oops. luck points are not playing with me. Purple, green, I take. Now I got to place those in my streets, and I got to pick one individual row to place them both in, which is fine in any of the three, but I might as well place them in either of these top rows so that we can score points based off of placement. Then it might not be a bad idea to start aiming towards getting some of these mural spaces undone. So I'm going to start with green, and then we're going to place purple there, which means we flip over our purple mural piece, and then I will place a tourist there, scoring on purple, which gets me 1 point. And then we're going to refill the umbrellas, and we'll take a look at our first AI card. So flipping that over, we can see it says, discard all red or orange umbrellas from the market, whichever has the most umbrellas. If it's tied, I get to choose. And then again, they're going to score 1 point for everything they discard, and that's always going to be true for all of these cards. So red and orange, they both have 2, so I get to choose which one I want. Then, getting orange for these murals would be nice, but otherwise I don't really need orange, except that I can work on scoring things. Red at the moment doesn't help too much, except that I could put red here and end up scoring nicely off that. No, you know what? I'm going to give them red, and you'll see why in just a second. So they take the 2 reds, scoring 2 points. And we replace those reds. Here's a green and a purple. Well, having that green would be nice to have. But I'm going to pass for a second. Hold on. Yeah, generally he's going to be taking the most of something. Although there's occasionally least of everything that's out there, which would take that green away. But for right now, I'm going to take this orange and purple. I'm going to put the orange there and the purple there, which means I do get this orange flipped. I do get 1 more tourist. But we're actually going to take a break already. So that tourist goes back. These slide down 1, and that comes back like this. I just realized I made a stupid mistake. Hold on. Let me think about that for a second. I don't want purple, purple in the same column. And if I put purple there, that's no good for me. Yeah, then that's not going to happen. We're going to undo that for a second. Maybe not. In that case, I think actually then forget it. I'm going to spend my coin after all and take this green, orange, purple row instead, and we'll do it this way. Purple goes there, green's going to go there, and I'm going to put orange there, so I still do flip that orange mural, but instead of taking that tourist off, we're going to place 1 tourist there and score 1 point off of green. Yeah, and then we'll fill back in. Oh, and there's another green. Let's see what the AI does. Discard most umbrellas. So there's 2 purple, 2 orange, 1 green, and 4 blue. So they're taking all of the blues. Which means they score 4 points. And refill. Ooh, lots of green coming out for me. That's not bad. Then, orange and green is not horrible. Green, orange, green is not horrible either. Yeah, I'm going to spend my coin to take green, orange, green. I'm going to place them here in the middle row, like this, hitting that for green, and we're resting. We're taking a break. So now we will rotate these like that. AI takes their turn. Discard yellow or green. Hold on. Filling in these first. Discard yellow or green, whichever has most. So they're taking green. And scoring 2 points on that. Refilling back in. All right, now, let's take a break for a second. This middle row has 2 spaces, means I need to place 2 there, because if I place a 1, then I have to place another 1. And things get confusing with our 3s moving forward, because at the end of the game, I didn't mention this, but we are going to get 1 minus victory point for every empty space. So I have to be careful with how I place. I do want a blue and a something coming in here. I would like some purples down here, but not yet. Because purple in that column kills that column. Orange there would be fine. I don't have the ability to take multiples yet. Oh, let's do this. I'm going to take the orange-blue. Start with blue, and then orange. Which flips this blue. Gets this guy here. And I'm going to place 1 there to get 3 points for my greens. 1, 2, and 3 like that. So now these 2 rows will score for purple because there are 3 difference and they include purples. So that's a yay. Filling in those like that. Then AI takes their turn. Green or blue, most umbrellas there are neither. So the AI takes nothing, which is awesome. My turn. The sad thing right here is that I would love to have some purples in places. Yeah, you know what? It's going to rotate one more time. All right, I'm going to take this purple-orange, placing a purple there and an orange there. And then, it seems like a waste. I could put 1 meeple down at the bottom and score 1 point. But I think I'm going to rest now to rotate those. Because then I can score a lot on purple and orange next time. Place out more there. Purple, purple. Like that. AI takes their turn. Orange or yellow, most they're tied. I want yellows potentially, but right now it's not going to matter. They'll get the orange. 1, 2. Moving up 2 points. There's a yellow-red. Yeah, purple would be nice to have. I don't want to put a purple on these. This should be yellow and red on these 2 pieces. You know what? I'm going to take a single purple there. Because that means that now this row scores for me, and I get a coin so I can take a big one next time. And I'm going to score here for purple and orange, which gets me 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Filling in that one. AI's turn. Most umbrellas purple or red. They're taking 3 purple. Like that. And scoring 1, 2, 3. We got 4 turns left. Which means 2, 2, 2, 2. Or 2, 2, 3, 1. Which is probably going to have to be what it is. All right. Then, filling in these. Like that. I want to place yellow, red. Red, yellow, green. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 green. I'm scared that if I take a green, we're in trouble. Yeah. All right. I'm going to take... No. Because I need a purple there. Yellow, red's not bad right there. We'll do that and flip that one over like that. And then we will, yuck. I'm going to rotate again. That goes down, that goes down, that goes over like that. AI takes their turn, blue or purple. Hold on. It's tied. I want purple. I'll give them a blue. 1. That's kind of bad because it gives them another extra 1 at the end, but in either case, it gives me an extra 1 and an extra 1, so that doesn't change anything. This goes here, and it flips over. Then, yeah, this coin's not going to help me, I think. We've got 3 turns left. I could do 2, 2, 2, or 3, 1, 2. All right, then I'm going to draft. I'd love to have that red, yellow, yellow. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to lose out on some purple stuff, potentially, but that's okay. Coin goes in. I take this yellow, yellow, red. Red goes there, yellow goes there, and yellow goes there. And I am going to score red and yellow here for 3 points. 1, 2, 3 points. And we'll fill back in that one. AI takes their turn. Let's see what happens. Discard the least umbrellas. Purple or red. Give them red. 1. Okay. Then I'm going to draft a 2 and a 1 for the next 2 rounds because that's what's left. We need to figure this out. I can't take that green. I could take this green, but if another one doesn't come out... No. Yeah, if another one didn't come out, I'm in trouble. Could take this purple, yellow. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I'll put a purple... Ah! That's dead. Yeah, darn. Then we're going to have to put that there like that. Because this can still potentially be 3 somethings. All right, then we're going to score on purple and orange. Hold on, this should have been done when I placed that red there. I get this one. 2. Scoring on purple and orange is 1, 2, 3 points for me. We fill back in like that. And now I kind of regret not taking that green, but that's okay. Discard again, least umbrellas, which is blue. Ouch. No, blue or red. I'll give them red so they don't get an extra blue score at the end, because blue is going to be the biggest one. So they score 1 and refill. All right, then just double checking 1, 2, 3, 4 green is even number. So I can't take another green. So I gotta take an orange. No, I'm gonna take this green and blue. But the blue goes there, this green is gone. I do that on purpose so that I can potentially prevent them from getting a blue. And I'm going to score blues, or sorry, greens there, just because it's only going to get me 1 point, but it's worth it. That's the end for me. The AI's last turn, discard everything, the most umbrellas, which looks like yellow or orange. I'm going to take yellow. It doesn't really matter. 1, 2, and 3 points for them. 1, 2, 3 points for them, and I'm still on 16. Then, that's the end of the game. We go ahead and score for me. So first, we score the mural. I flipped all 6, I get 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then, we score each of the objectives. 1 for each column with purple and 3 colors. 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, no purple, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for me. Then we score greens that are 1 point each if they're even, and they are. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 greens. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm scoring half a point for each of the other colors. So we've got red, yellow, blue, orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 divided by 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have any empty spots, so I don't lose any points, so I finish at 36. This is going to be tight. They're going to get 10 points because we're playing on the standard AI. Means 19 goes to 29. And then they score 1 point for every color, per color with the most umbrellas in the discarded umbrella pile. Means they've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. That's the most, so they're going to get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I managed to just barely beat them with a score of 36 to 34, which makes me happy because that is the first standard level win that I've had after about 6 games of this so far. So that's that. Now, normally in a normal preview or review, I would take a look at the components right now, but I can't really do that because I'm working on TTS. But I will say this game is super, super colorful, great poppy, colorful artwork. I really love the visual design and the art of this game. These murals here, you can't see because I did delete the other characters, but they all have unique murals. The tiles here are unique for each of the different colored players, meaning the pairing of colors is different on each of these tiles. Now, I do know that in the main game that these are sort of plastic or acrylic kind of pieces. They maybe there's the same acetate pieces you see in a lot of games like this, something like Azul or those kinds of things. These are little wooden sort of meeple kind of umbrellas. This bicycle is a wooden meeple. These pieces I'll show you here. Actually, hold on, let me put it down. It's upside down, but you get the idea. They're little Taurus meeples with sort of cameras screen printed on them. Everything in this game looks great, and I guarantee it feels great in the final product, which unfortunately I haven't had a chance to touch, obviously, because this is digital. But my vote on these components, or my thoughts on these components, is yay, yay, yay. Everything looks great. So let's talk about the game itself. And I'm just going to come out and say, well, first off, there's a reason that I'm doing this video, and the reason that I'm doing this video obviously is that I enjoyed this game enough that it was worth showing it to you all. I did mention that I love these designers based on their previous work, and I have to say that I continue to as well. This game is a whole lot of fun. It looks great, it feels great, and they've done it again. I say that Dustin and Milan have a real sort of knack for designing these sort of abstract strategy, spatial relations, spatial puzzle kinds of games. Skulls of Sedlec is a spatial sort of tile-laying game. Rove very much depends on a spatial puzzle as you're moving things around to match certain spatial configurations of cards on the board. Battlecrest is a skirmish game, but it is very much a grid-based map with spatial relation to things on the map, meaning certain abilities get triggered and so on. Numpsters, while it is an in-hand card game, is all about getting things in the right order and how cards play off of other cards when they're sort of spatially related to each other in different ways. So clearly these guys get a spatial puzzle, and I really, really enjoyed this one as well. This game is basically everything that I was hoping Azul would be. It's a sort of draft a piece to put on your tableau to match patterns and score points based on those patterns. But Azul, to me, I mean, granted, it's all about the draft, and it's very often about drafting things so that your opponents don't get it, which could also happen in this game, but it feels like this one is more open to giving you options on how best to place things into your board to score in different and interesting ways. With the addition of the mural, with the addition of you getting to choose where you place, but only being able to place in a single row, and then also being able to rotate these scoring tiles so that they score in different places on different turns, and requiring you to use these tourists so that you can't just keep scoring the same place over and over again. All of the different things in this game really does make for a complete package that I enjoy, whereas Azul for me fell flat. And again, this one does have the sort of chunky plastic bits or acetate, acrylic, whatever you call that material, Bakelite maybe, that Azul has as well. So realistically, this sort of replaces, or I don't want to say replace because I didn't like Azul to begin with, but this is that game that I was looking for, and I'm very, very, very glad to see that it got made. So let's be more specific. What exactly is it about this game that I enjoy? Well, the draft is interesting because you are given the ability to draft 1, 2, or 3 umbrellas, but you've got to choose a single line. And then once you've drafted them, you've also got to place them into a single line. So you have to sort of pay attention to not only what you're drafting when, but how you're drafting so that it matches sort of the patterns you're looking to hit, but also matches the tiles that you're scoring in a certain row, and then also thinking about how it might match the tiles later as they start getting rotated and played through. You also have to pay attention to, you can always draft 2, but if I want to draft 3, I have to maybe draft 1 first, so I get a coin so I can spend that coin to draft the 3, which is an interesting sort of little extra hiccup in the puzzle. But then also, like I was saying, and this is not something I noticed right away until I got hit with a mistake, but if you're not careful about when you're taking 1, 2, or 3 and where you're placing 1, 2, or 3 into your streets, you'll see that each of the streets has exactly 7 pieces in it. Means if you take 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 all the time, you're going to have holes. Or you'll end up wasting pieces that don't fit into your street that then you can't use on future rounds. So you really do have to think about when am I taking the numbers and where am I placing the numbers so I don't end up with empty spaces at the end of the game that will cost negative points. But then also while you're placing, again, you're thinking about the tiles that are scoring with the tourists, and you're thinking about unlocking the murals to score endgame points, but also to get more tourists to help you score on the tiles on your streets. So it adds this extra level of where should I be putting things, not only to score endgame points, but also to help myself with mid-game points and sort of the ability to have more tourists to ultimately score more mid-game points. And all of this layered on top of each other really does make for a nice, quite crunchy puzzle in such a small, quick little game. It really, really feels fun to do all of this. Now, also, you didn't see, at the beginning of the game, this automatically set up, but I told you this brown building, the souvenir building that's scoring the half points, is always going to be there. But the other 2 buildings that you've got here, or the other 2 cards, stores in the town that you've got, are going to change every game. So let me look into this deck real quick and just give you an example of some of the other stuff. We saw the one that scores based on columns of different umbrellas with at least one of a certain color. This one gives me points for each color that is an even number, or this color if it's an even number. There is an odd version of that as well. There's this one here that you score 2 points for each umbrella in the color that you have the least of the 2 colors that are placed on this card. This one you get to choose one or the other color, and you're going to score 1 point for all of them in a single row. This one simply, you're scoring based on the number of umbrellas of a specific color that you've got. But you can see here that 3 umbrellas scores the most points. So you only want to have a sort of middling number of umbrellas or you're not going to be scoring a ton of points. And it actually punishes you for getting too many of that umbrella. Here we've got adjacency, so you're going to score 1 point for each umbrella of color that's chosen that's not adjacent to an umbrella of the same color. So there's a lot of different end game goals, scoring goals that come out every game. These sort of, the pairing of them, which ones come out at the same time is going to change the way that the game plays. Which colors get placed on these cards is going to change the way the game plays. I mean, not dramatically, because the colors come out random and the colors come out random, so it doesn't really matter if it's green compared to some other color, but it does kind of, because these tiles are not changing for a single player color. But again, each player color has a different pairing of those on there as well. So in a solo mode, I could switch between player colors and actually have a slightly different way that the game plays, which is cool. But also means in a multiplayer game, we're not all fighting for the same color at the same time because we score differently on different pairs of colors, which is really cool. And then now, this is on my channel. So the reason it's on my channel is there's a solo mode here. And I really, really enjoy what the solo mode is doing. It's very simple. It's 10 cards. It's the same 10 cards every time. And all they're doing is scoring based on umbrellas that they discard and some set number of points or flat number of points based on the difficulty that you've chosen. But it works really well because it doesn't take a lot of time to figure out what the AI is going to do. It does make you think a little bit about what you're doing to make sure that the AI doesn't kill you on a single color and get a ton of endgame points, right? You saw me draft once to get rid of some blue so they didn't keep adding to the blue. But again, the more I play, I know the kinds of cards that exist in this deck. So I can kind of think about what is the AI going to be doing, or what might the AI be doing in future rounds. So I can sort of plan around them and kind of guess which umbrellas might still be there on my turn, which umbrellas might I want to take so the AI doesn't get them, and so on. So it really does feel like I'm playing against an opponent. Whether or not the opponent's making smart decisions all the time, it does still feel like I'm playing against an opponent, which is fun. It does give me something to compare my score with at the end to see if it's a win or a lose, which is always a good thing in my opinion. Just overall, this whole package, the puzzle that this presents, the AI that's in this game for me, I really, really, really enjoy this, and I cannot wait to get this played with a physical copy because I guarantee the tactile element of moving these, manipulating these umbrellas, drawing them from the bag, it's just going to make the experience even that much greater. And with the poppy colors and the great art that's on here, having that as a physical component on my table, again, the meeples with the screen printed or the printed cameras on their chest, the little bicycle first player marker, which is not really meaningful in a solo game. But the point is, all of the stuff in this box is something that I would love to have out on a table, and this is a game that I would definitely have out on a table a lot if I did own a copy. So if this seems like something you'd be interested, definitely check out the Kickstarter campaign. It's going on right now if you watch this video as it goes live. The link is in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.